In today's episode, what we're going to talk about is how to deal with rejection, but specifically the secret to becoming more successful in life. Let's talk about it. Welcome to another episode of Career Strategies. My name is Rodney Hughes, Mr. 100%. Today's episode is being brought to you by The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired, how to land the job of your dreams regardless of the competition. In this book, you're going to discover the secrets to landing a top dollar job offer with ease. You're going to learn a simple step-by-step interview prep system that will help you dramatically improve your odds of landing the top dollar job offer that you deserve. If that sounds like something you're interested in learning more about, you can pick up a copy of this book today by heading over to www.theuglytruthbook.com. That's www.theuglytruthbook.com. Once again, that's www.theuglytruthbook.com. All right, so what we're talking about again here is how to deal with rejection, but specifically the secret to becoming more successful in life. All right, let's dive into this. So here's what I want you to understand. The secret, the overarching secret to becoming more successful in life is that you have to learn how to deal with rejection. See, because rejection is the secret to becoming more successful in life. Keep this in mind, okay? Nothing in life is guaranteed other than death. Okay, if you are alive, it is guaranteed that you will die one day. All right, I'm not trying to speak this over you. It's just an empirical fact. There's nobody that has been able to escape death. It's just a fact. Okay. And just like that is a fact. Okay. What you got to understand is that if there are no guarantees when it comes to being successful in your career, right, then what you have to understand is that in order for you to make the most out of your career, you must put yourself in a position to experience rejection. Because there are no guarantees. There is no possible way for you to guarantee that anything that you try to accomplish in your career is going to ultimately end up in success. Again, there are no guarantees, right? And so, unfortunately, most people try to run away from rejection. And because most people try to run away from rejection, they oftentimes never even tap into their potential, right? They never actually accomplish very much because they're constantly trying to avoid rejection. But let me tell you this. The most successful people and the most successful businesses that you know about are typically the ones who experience the most rejection, either directly or indirectly. Let me give you a quick example. So it's kind of like McDonald's. Okay. I think they're a great example of what I'm trying to articulate here. The interesting thing about McDonald's is that I would say McDonald's is probably, I'm guessing here, but I believe that McDonald's is probably one of the biggest marketers on planet Earth. Okay. I would imagine that they probably spend more money than 99% of the other companies in the world, especially in the fast food market. And there is a reason why when you look at McDonald's, they say over 90 billion. That's right. 90 billion. That's with a B, 90 billion served. All right. There's a reason that they can say that. And it's because they put themselves in a position to experience rejection, both directly and indirectly. Right. See, when you look at McDonald's, you're looking at a company that it's almost as if they are trying to be omnipresent. Like they're everywhere. Right. When you go online, you see McDonald's. When you're looking at TV, you see McDonald's. When you're listening to the radio, you see McDonald's. You hear McDonald's. When you're listening to podcasts, McDonald's commercials might pop up, right? When you're driving down the street, you're almost guaranteed to run into a McDonald's, right? They're everywhere, and they're everywhere strategically, okay? But understand this, they are investing outrageous amounts of money in being seen and being heard everywhere you go, right? But here's the reality. Ask yourself, how many times have you driven past a McDonald's and didn't go in and buy something from McDonald's? Better yet, think about how many times you have seen either a McDonald's billboard or saw them on TV or heard them on the radio and didn't take immediate action to go buy something from McDonald's, right? See, if you're being real with yourself, most of the advertising that McDonald's does, you don't actually take advantage of. And that inherently is a form of rejection, right? In that instance, it's more of an indirect form of rejection, right? But what I need you to understand is this. The reason that they have been able to serve 90 billion people, okay? No, not 90 billion people. The reason why they have been able to serve 90 billion hamburgers is because they put themselves strategically in a position to hear rejection over and 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 over again. And that is their advantage. And that is why they are winning. And that is why when you think about hamburger, you almost have to think about McDonald's, even if you don't like them. Huh? That's the competitive advantage, my friend. And that is your competitive advantage. You must put yourself in a position to be rejected. Okay? To hear the word no. And you got to be able to handle hearing and experiencing all forms of rejection, both directly and indirectly, if you want to become more successful. That's the secret, right? So what I want to do here is I want to share with you 5 simple strategies that can help you deal with rejection better. Because here's the deal. Again, you want to be more successful, right? I just shared the secret with you. The secret is you got to put yourself in a position to experience more and more rejection, both directly and indirectly. That, my friend, is the secret. And what I want to do is share some strategies with you that will help you to be able to deal with it. Okay? Because you got to be able to deal with it in order to experience more rejection, and more importantly, in order to experience more success. Let's dive in. Strategy number 1. You need to value your vision, both short-term and long-term, more than you value your ego. All right, let's talk about it. I said the 3-letter word. I said it. Ego. Ego gets so many people in trouble, and it's something that I'm constantly trying to work at. Okay, in my life and in my career, ego will get you, and ego will trick you out of your destiny if you don't watch it. Okay. And one of the ways to get your ego in check is that you got to have a big vision. I'm always talking about vision. Vision is so freaking important. Okay. You need to have a vision, that you need to value your vision more than you value your ego. Because again, one of the reasons why people, in my opinion, don't like dealing with rejection is because their ego is involved. It hurts their ego. They get overly emotional about a no, not realizing that when people reject them, they're, in most instances, it's not that they're rejecting you, it's that they're rejecting whatever it is you are offering. Okay? And so your ego can get you in trouble. And that's why you need to fall in love with your vision. First off, you need to have a vision. All right. And then once you have that vision, you need to value that vision more than you value your ego. Because if you value your vision more than you value your ego, then you'll be able to better deal with people rejecting, or you'll be better at dealing with rejection when it comes your way, right? Because you value your vision more than the ego. All right. Strategy number 2. I want you to understand that rejection is a win, not a loss. Okay. Now you're going to have a complete paradigm shift in order to really understand this. Okay. You have to understand that rejection is a win, not a loss. Okay. And I'm talking about all forms of rejection. It doesn't matter. It's just like what I said about McDonald's, right? It's because they deal with so much rejection that they actually win, and that they're like the biggest fast food company in the world. It's because of the amount of rejection that they deal with. Okay. And so I want to share with you 3 reasons why rejection is a win and not a loss, so that you can really kind of wrap your head around it. Number 1, you actually got a response. So if you put yourself in a position to get rejection and you actually was able to get a response from somebody actually rejected you, dude, you actually got a response. Listen, in a world with so much distraction, you actually got a response. Like, dude, think about how many different things distract people nowadays. You know, I read a article a long time ago that said, and this was probably like a few years back, where it said that the average modern American encounters 5,000 ads on a daily basis. That means that's 5,000 different companies making a promise to that person, to each modern person. And if you're in a major city, it might even be more than that, right? If you're on the internet all day, it might be even more than that, right? And so people are distracted. If people are getting that many ads, dude, I'm just talking about ads. I'm not even talking about stuff that's going on in people's personal lives, stuff that's going on in their career. Just it's so much distraction out here. So just being able to get a response in this world, getting attention in this world is outrageously valuable. Okay? Because most people don't get a lot of attention. Most people don't even get a response. Okay, so the fact that you even got a response for whatever it is that you're going after, that is a win. All right. The second reason why rejection is a win and not a loss is because you're better. That's right. I know we like to live in this kumbaya world where we like to be under the false interpretation that everybody's the same and all that. No, listen, you are better. If you are strategically and consciously putting yourself in a position to get rejected, which is the secret to becoming more successful in life, you are better. You are better than, listen, most of your competition, quote unquote competition, by the way, is too afraid to even take a shot. That's the truth. So many people, most of your quote unquote competition out here won't even take a shot. Okay. They're trying to avoid rejection at all costs. So if you even got rejected for something that you wanted to go after, guess what, my friend? You are better. You are better than all of those people that quote unquote are your competition that aren't even willing to take the shot to go after what they want. And then lastly, number 3, the third reason why rejection is a win and not a loss is because you don't have to experience the regret and the torment of wondering what if, right? See, people that don't take their shot in life, you know, they oftentimes can find themselves, if they continue down that path, they can oftentimes find themselves, if they're even fortunate enough to make it up into older age, they can find themselves in a situation where they have an immense amount of regret because they never took the shot. They never went after what they really want in life because they were afraid to be rejected. They were afraid that it wouldn't work out, right? if you take on this type of mentality where you're putting and you learn how to deal with rejection, you put yourself strategically and purposefully and consciously in the path to get rejected when you're going after what you want in life, you don't have to wonder what if, right? Because if you get rejected, then you know what the answer is. Okay. And by the way, just because you get rejected now doesn't mean you're going to always get rejected. All right. But you don't have to wonder what if. All right. But back to the game plan. Strategy number 3. You got to start thinking more abundantly. All right. You got to understand that a scarcity mindset will only fuel your fear of rejection. All right. This world is so big. All right. This is a big world that we live in. Right. And so many people have such a scarcity mindset when it comes to going after the things that they want, when it comes to going after success. And these are self-imposed limitations. I need you to understand that this world is, I'm not going to say that it's limitless. I'm just going to say I don't know where the limits are. Okay. Because if you go back, if I had like a device that could teleport us back 500 years ago and you try to explain to them what the internet is, they might burn you at the cross. Okay. They might get you up out of here and say that you're on some witchcraft type stuff. Okay. This is what would have happened if you could go back 500 years ago and try to explain what the internet is. Okay. I need you to understand that it's kind of like that old saying from Alexander the Great. Nothing is impossible to him that try. Okay. You got to try. You got to try to go after what you want. And through going after what you want, you will experience rejection in most instances. Okay. But understand that we live in a world of abundance. Just because one person or one situation doesn't work out for you does not mean that every situation will not work out for you. That's not what that means. Okay. So you got to start thinking abundantly. And one of the things I always like to tell people is, look, you can always ask or go after what it is you want in life. You might not always be able to get what you want out of life, but you literally can always go after or ask for what it is that you want in life. Strategy number 4, you got to start looking at rejection scientifically and not emotionally. Okay. Try to gain a scientific understanding of what it will realistically take to accomplish your goals. Along the way, you want to experiment on ways that you can go about reducing the rejection that you will actually, experience through improving your skill and growing your skills. But you want to start thinking scientifically about it, because again, no matter how skillful you are, you will experience some form of rejection when you're going after, when you're trying to become more successful in life. The power is in understanding how much rejection it typically will require in order for you to get the outcome that you're looking for. Right? So let's say that you're trying to get funding for, I don't know, you're trying to get, let's just say, $50,000 in funding or something for some business venture that you're going after. Okay. Well, listen, you gotta be realistic with yourself, because it may take you asking 50 different people in order to get to 50,000. But here's the reality. If you ask 50 different people that have money, one of those 50 will likely end up saying, sure, I'll invest in your dream, regardless of how crazy your dream is. Look at all the different crazy dreams that people have been able to get funding for, right? See, that's how it works. When you start looking at it scientifically, then you start tapping into the power of the law of averages. And then strategy number 5, and this is a big one. All right. You want to seek desensitization. Okay. I don't know if I said that right. You want to seek desensitize. You want to become desensitized. Okay. You want to become desensitized to rejection. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to try to get as many no's as you can as fast as you can. Okay. One of the reasons why people try to avoid rejection is because they don't get enough of it fast enough. Because if you got enough no's fast enough, at some point you will become desensitized to the emotional impact of hearing the word no. And that's ideally what you want to do. You want to become desensitized to it so that when you receive a no, you don't have any emotional hang up on it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you get emotionally engaged every time somebody says no to you, you're going to get drained, and you're going to get drained fast. What I need you to do is I need you to utilize warp speed in order to get as many no's as humanly possible, right? Because what'll happen is that once you become desensitized by getting a whole bunch of no's very fast, utilizing warp speed to try to get as many no's as possible, is that at some point you will become desensitized. And once you become desensitized, the game will slow down for you. And then once the game starts to slow down for you, then you can start to improve your skill set to try to analyze each time you're getting a no, like what could I have done differently to improve my odds? And then over time, you'll start slowly improving your odds. And then one day you'll start getting more and more yeses and less no's. Okay. You're never going to escape no's. You're never going to escape rejection. Okay. It's going to always be a part of the game. But if you can tap into warp speed, right, and go out there and put your fears to the side and try to get as many no's as possible, as fast as possible, you will become desensitized. And once you become desensitized, you'll be in a position to actually improve your skills. Like one of the things that I came up with, or that I discussed with a friend of mine, is I came up with this idea called the 12,000 response challenge, right? And so essentially what that means is that throughout the course of a year, I try to get 12,000 no's, right? Now, that's a tremendous amount of no's. That means that breaks down to 1,000 no's every single month. Okay, that's a lot of activity. That's a lot of responses. That's a lot of responses to get, and most of those responses are going to be in the form of rejection. Okay, but please understand this. Okay, one of the reasons why I came up with the 12,000 response challenge is because there are some inherent benefits to moving at warp speed like that. Number one is that you're going to become desensitized really fast. Number two, you're going to have to reduce your time. Like one of the things that people do when they're trying to kind of avoid the rejection is they try to be overly skillful, and they kind of beat around the bush. If you're going for 12,000 responses in 1 year, you don't have time to be beating around the bush with people. And one of the things I believe in is that it takes that long. I'm talking about it's super fast for people to identify if they're interested in what you're talking about or not interested. That has been my experience. And so when I'm executing on the 12,000 response challenge and I'm moving at warp speed, again, I'm already desensitized, right? And then I'm getting to the point. So yes, I'm getting a whole bunch of rejection, but I'm able to get to the people who are interested and ready to buy right now and are interested in what I have to offer right now much faster. You understand? So yeah, that's the benefit of moving at warp speed. And that's the benefit of like the 12,000 response challenge. And so I just shared that with you. Not that you're in sales, you might be in sales, but not that you're in sales, but I'm sharing it with you because I want you to understand like how the practicality of it in the real world. Like the practicality of it is that if you're willing to move at warp speed when it comes to dealing with rejection, you will become desensitized rather fast. And once you become desensitized, you're going to be playing an entirely different game. You're going to find yourself in a situation where, yes, you're going to experience more rejection than you ever thought you could experience, but you're also going to experience more success than you can possibly imagine. Okay? Because as long as you have something that is of value to the marketplace, somebody will say yes. Hopefully you got great value from today's episode. And once again, this episode was brought to you by The Ugly Truth About Getting Hired: How to Land the Job of Your Dreams regardless of the competition. In this book, you're going to discover the secrets to landing a top dollar job offer with ease. You're going to learn a simple step-by-step interview prep system that will help you dramatically improve your odds of landing the top dollar job offer that you deserve. If that sounds like something you're interested in learning more about, you can pick up a copy of this book today by heading over to www.theuglytruthbook.com. That's www.theuglytruthbook.com. Once again, that's www.theuglytruthbook.com. Thanks again for checking out today's episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And always remember, the only things that pay in life are the things that you get done. And that's based on a true story.